You could be running loads all week long and still be broke. Why? Because you don't know your cost per mile. And if you don't know that number, you don't really know if you're making money or you're losing it.
Hey, real quick, I'm about to drop some game on this video, but first I want to say, if you're new to the box truck business or already in the game and you don't have a clear blueprint to follow, then you need to check out my free webinar. That's where I break down exactly how I built my box truck business from scratch. I go over the 7 mistakes that most owners make that cost them time and money. And I also show you how I use business credit to grow my operation without touching my own cash. So if you're serious about winning in this space, click on the link in my bio and watch the free webinar. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of stress. All right, now back to the video.
Here's how most truckers think. I'm making $2,500 this week. And if I can do this every week, I'm at $10,000 for the month. That's good money. And it sounds good. But every week in trucking is different. What they don't realize is that after fuel, insurance, maintenance, and driver pay, they might only be keeping about $500. Or worse, they might be running loads at a loss and they don't even know it. You see, that's why knowing your cost per mile isn't optional. It's survival, and it will determine if your business is profitable or not. Calculating your cost per mile is simple. What you do is you take all your expenses, your fuel, your insurance, your truck note, maintenance, meals, hotel if you're not sleeping in the truck, showers, tolls, preventive maintenance, even your personal pay or driver's pay. And then you categorize them into 2 sections. You have your fixed expenses and you have your variable expenses. And then you divide each one by the miles that you drove that week or that month. And then you add the two numbers together, and that's how you get your cost per mile. Now that number tells you the truth, how much it costs you to move your truck 1 mile. So if your cost per mile is $1.70 and the broker is only paying you $1.50 a mile and you take the load, well, congratulations, you're paying out of your pocket to move that freight. Now, I remember the first time I really sat down and calculated my cost per mile. I really thought I was making good money until I realized I was taking loads that were paying less than what it cost me to operate. So in reality, I was in the hole. The fastest way to go out of business is thinking that you're profitable when you're not. And trust me, I've seen plenty of guys park their trucks or lose them because they didn't know their numbers. And I was almost one of those guys until I learned how to calculate my cost per mile. You see, let me hit you with some reality. The brokers, they don't care about your cost per mile. They'll pay you as little as you're willing to take to move that load. And let's make one thing clear. There is no such thing as truckers that are taking cheap freight, okay? Your cost to operate and another trucker's cost to operate is totally different. For example, the guy that you would say is taking cheap freight, maybe he has an older truck. Maybe his truck is paid for, all right? And when he calculates his fixed expenses, he's not adding in a truck payment with his calculations. Now you, on the other hand, because you wanted that nice brand new truck, all right? You have to factor in about $1,000 or better each month with your fixed expense. And your insurance is more than likely going to be higher than the guy with the paid off truck because his truck may be older than yours and you have a newer truck. Now, if you don't know your numbers, you're easy prey for a broker. You'll run yourself into the ground while they keep stacking their checks. I mean, they don't care. They're just going to stack their checks, all right? You're not in trucking to be a charity. You're in trucking to run a business, and business runs on numbers. So here's what you do. You need to sit down and calculate your cost per mile. That's like your fuel, your insurance, your maintenance, truck note, everything. All right. And never take a load that pays less than that number that you come up with. And what you do is you use that number as your weapon in negotiations. Now, 1 truck, this number keeps you alive. If you have 3 to 5 trucks, this number helps you scale your business. Now, if you got 10 trucks, this number is how you build a real fleet. So if you don't know your cost per mile, you don't have a trucking business. You have a hobby, and hobbies don't pay the bills. And if you want the full blueprint on how to grow your trucking business the right way, go to my free webinar. I'll show you step by step how to turn slim margins into real profits. Just hit the link in my bio and I'll see you over there at the webinar. And don't forget to like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when I drop another video.